It's Corona time. COVID-19, COVID-19, COVID-19,
COVID-19, yes.
COVID-19, COVID-19, coronavirus.
Vaccine, number one way.
Number one way. We're going to start with NBCNews.com. The WHO, World Health Organization, examining potential hearing problems linked to COVID vaccines. Oh,
great.
Yeah, I thought there was nothing. There was no issues.
No. I mean, Gonz, they studied them for 4 months, okay? How are we supposed to know something would happen after 4 months?
You're right. The World Health Organization is examining rare reports of hearing loss and other auditory issues following COVID-19 vaccinations. Oh, you know what? Anybody that got COVID or whatever, or got the COVID vaccine, you can stop listening, to your teacher or your, I don't know, something, coach or something. And if they ask why, you could be like, oh, man, must be that vaccine.
Good excuse.
It really messes with my auditory
because I did my duty as a been citizen that I can't hear you, teacher.
In a newsletter posted on its website, the International Public Health Agency said that it had been made aware of sudden hearing problems, particularly tinnitus. I think that's how you pronounce it, right? I always thought it was tinnitus, but I think people...
It is tinnitus.
I've heard people say, doctors say tinnitus.
I've heard... British doctors call it tinnitus.
Maybe that's what it is. Or ringing of the ears that may be associated with COVID vaccines. That's the article. So,
that's all of it, huh?
I think so. Well, maybe there's more. There's more. Sorry, there's more.
I thought it'd be awesome if that's just what they did. For once, they just state some facts without sort of embellishing it in its loaded political context.
Right. There's some numbers here. The WHO reported 367 cases of tinnitus and 164 cases of hearing loss globally among those who had received a COVID-19 vaccine, usually within a day of the shot.
Oh.
That's out of more than 11 billion doses of COVID vaccine given worldwide, so the hearing problems seem to be extremely rare. So why are they even talking about it on NBC News?
It's apparently not rare enough to not report on.
Apparently, yeah. It just goes a couple more random things here that mentions stuff about the study. I don't think it's that important for us to know.
No, I think it's fun. It's fun to just at least document the fact that it's being reported, that it's being mentioned in the mainstream. Because there's, we saw the documents. We saw the Pfizer documents that listed about 2,000 weird adverse events.
We actually forgot to talk about that specifically, or at least
we showed it on the show. This was like a month or two. This is like last month sometime.
Okay,
yeah.
I know that in the last episode or two, we did have a document that it was like a PDF that listed that just got released. And there's literally
your looping elephant time thing is going off again. This was in February that we had this document.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. What did we have a couple days ago?
I don't know. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
I'm trying to find it so we can talk about it. But
why don't you do that while I talk about our next article?
Yeah.
Which is MSN.com, mirroring Reuters. The headline is Biden gets second booster shot, pushes for more COVID funding. They changed this headline.
I know. I noticed that.
That's annoying.
I couldn't do anything about it. Sorry. I tried to get it back.
So annoying. Yeah, they changed the headline to now it's all about Biden. The headline used to be White House launches new COVID website trying to get more funding, which was more fun.
COVID.gov.
Yeah. U.S. President Joe Biden rolled up his sleeve for a second COVID-19 booster shot on Wednesday. Oh, that's why they changed it, because he got his booster this morning. Keep an eye out. He got his booster this morning. You hear a ringing in your ears, Biden? Turn down your hearing aid, man. As his administration rolled out efforts to help Americans live with the coronavirus, including a new website and a renewed push for vaccinations and funding. That's what the original article was all about, was, oh, Biden's here to help you live with COVID, not defeat COVID. So I don't know. They may have entirely changed this article. We're just this is a cold read now, baby. Quote, if we fail to invest, we leave ourselves vulnerable if another wave hits, Biden said in remarks at the White House to launch COVID.gov, a clearinghouse of information aimed at helping people manage the virus as they seek a return to normalcy. So it's not their job to manage the virus anymore. It's our job. Us, the people. It's apparently now our job to manage the virus.
It's the American way, man. Put it into our own hands.
I get it. It's a funny change of tone, though, from Biden, who said he personally would, I believe the words he used were, punch it right in the kisser. I'm going to defeat COVID.
Right in the chin.
But now it's our job to do so. So, okay. Let's see. Remarks at the White House to launch COVID.gov. Oh, yeah. And let me continue. On Tuesday, U.S. health officials authorized a second booster shot for Americans age 50 and older and those who are immunocompromised 2 years after the start of the pandemic. Give us your data. Biden, 79, received his fourth dose of the Pfizer Inc. BioNTech SE vaccine. SE, huh?
Super efficient.
It's a new model. Super efficient. It's a new model of the vaccine. A second booster of Moderna's Inc. shot also was authorized. They couldn't see. I love this. You can see the influence of pharma advertising budgets in this, because Biden got Pfizer. Ooh, that's great for Pfizer. That's good advertising. Yeah. And they just Reuters couldn't let Pfizer be mentioned without also mentioning Moderna, one of their biggest advertisers. But Biden got Pfizer, but also Moderna's a thing. It's there. You can do that. Several drugstore chains, including CVS Health and Walgreens Boots Alliance, said they would start offering second booster doses then it just goes into the sort of obligatory rambling facts about the pandemic. And if you scroll down, Gonz, there's a picture of Biden with his fists up. And are you seeing this picture?
I'm trying to look for it now.
Okay, it's right under kind of where I stopped. He's putting on a mask or taking off a mask or something, which is funny. But he's kind of got his fists up, just like he's, about to throw fisticuffs with COVID. So that's fun. And it's...
I don't have it.
Really? It's not showing on yours, huh? It's about midway down. What is going on with this article? They're just like messing with it live. The ironic thing behind this, and is a beautiful move by the Biden administration, because Biden could at any moment make funding available for booster shots and things like that. But instead, he's taking this stance where it's like, Congress won't do it, folks. Congress took away the COVID funding and sent it all to Ukraine. We spent your $15 billion on Stinger missiles and guns for Ukrainians. So sorry about that. But you know what I'll do? I'll fix this. I'm going to make a website. No, you don't need money. Don't worry about the money or the, funding or whatever. I'm going to make you a website, and you're going to love it. And it's going to help you manage the virus. See, we're Americans. You go to town, manage your own virus. I'm busy sort of building the Great Reset over there in Eastern Europe. It's just a nice reminder for those who sort of narrative, those who inhabit the narrative, live the narrative. Just a nice reminder that Biden's looking out for you with his cool new website.
Yeah. Sorry, I was still looking for this document of this PDF that lists an appendix
Well, you can keep on looking.
No, I found it. I have it here.
Okay.
It's a cumulative analysis of post-authorization adverse events report from the Pfizer vaccine. Yep. And in the list of appendix, list of adverse events of special interest. And I mean, it's like a wall of text in alphabetical order of like every
a single spaced 10-point font of just an insane rambling list of bad things.
Just unbelievable amounts of things
can happen that happened during the research.
It's crazy. I mean, I'm sure it's a little inflated looking because there's like there's like autoimmune, but then there's different autoimmune things going on. But I don't know, man. This is a humongous list of side effects that that it makes it very interesting and strange that they would pick tinnitus, 300 something cases, and there's like the other effects on here that had like thousands of people get affected after the vaccine. But they're not going to talk about that. They're going to talk about something that's
fairly harmless. Yeah. You don't need to talk about the like weird disconnection between your brain and heart that can happen.
Right.
You talk about the tinnitus, that ringing in your ears that happens after you go to a rock concert.
Yeah.
Now I want to transfer into this next article because I think and you can keep your list of side effects up there because there may be something to explore. This is coming from The Atlantic, just the very powerful social engineering outlet here to anger the Republicans, own the cons, and sort of inflate the ego of the liberals, but all under the watchful eye of Steve Jobs' widow. The headline is How the Pandemic Broke Social Interaction.
I think they changed the headline on this one too.
Yes, they did. I think there's a little bot that when we put a link into our document, it sends a ping to the news station to do a rewrite.
The original headline was "Why People Are Acting So Weird." That was the headline. Yeah,
I loved it. I loved the original one. Is Why Are People Acting So Weird? And here we go. Crime, unruly passenger incidents, and other types of strange behavior have all soared recently. Why? Everyone is acting so weird! ! The most obvious recent weirdness was when Will Smith smacked Chris Rock at the Oscars. But if you look closely, people have been behaving badly on smaller stages for months now. Last week, for months, Gonz. Months. Last week, a man was arrested after he punched a gate agent at the Atlanta airport. The gate agent looked like he was about to punch
stuff
back.
Like this didn't happen before what? The pandemic? What are you trying to say? This is already triggering me. Go ahead.
I know. See, it's happening to you. It's happening to you too, Gonz. That wasn't even the only viral a-hole on a plane video that week. In February, people found ways to throw tantrums while skiing. In one viral video, a man slid around the chairlift boarding area of a Canadian resort, 1 foot strapped to his snowboard as he flailed at security guards, etc., etc. During the pandemic, disordered, rude, and unhinged conduct seemed to have caught on as much as bread making in Bridgerton. Bad behavior of all kinds, everything from rudeness and carelessness to physical violence, has increased, as the journalist Matt Iglesias pointed out in a Substack essay earlier this year. Americans are driving more recklessly, crashing their cars and killing pedestrians at higher rates. Early 2021 saw the highest number of unruly passenger incidents ever.
Yeah, we need people to start crashing into each other so the automatic driving systems can come in and save the day.
Mm-hmm. Healthcare workers say their patients are behaving more violently. At one point, Missouri hospitals plan to outfit nurses with panic buttons. Schools, too, are reporting an uptick in disruptive behavior. Skipping some more. What on earth is happening? How did Americans go from clapping for healthcare workers, to threatening to kill them? More than a dozen experts on crime, psychology, and social norms recently walked me through a few possible explanations.
Oh, boy.
The first one, Gonz, we're all stressed out.
Well,
One likely explanation for the spike in bad behavior is rage, in frustration and stress coursing through society right now. When Christine Parath, a business professor at Georgetown University, collected data on why people behaved in rude or uncivil ways, quote, the number one reason by far was feeling stressed or overwhelmed.
You know what's funny? A lot of the stress, like especially stress related to like things happening in the world and all that, that is all generated by media and politics. And
you'll continue to see a theme created through this article. I'm going to skip down to the next reason, which is people are drinking more. People have been coping with the pandemic by drinking more. No, they're not coping with the pandemic. They're coping with being forcibly locked in their homes by drinking more and doing more drugs. And, quote, a lot of these incidents involve somebody using a substance, Humphreys said, whether they're drinking before they get on a flight. A lot of auto accidents, including aggression-driven auto accidents, come from substances. Americans have been drinking 14% more days a month during the pandemic, and drug overdoses have increased since 2019. Substance abuse treatment, never especially easy to come by, was further interrupted by COVID. Skip down to the next one. We're social beings, and isolation is changing us. The pandemic loosened ties between people. Kids stopped going back to school. Their parents stopped going to work. Parishioners stopped going to church. People stopped gathering in general. Sociologists think all of this isolation shifted the way we behave. Quote,
I'm sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
I was a sociology major. Sociologists think all of this isolation shifted the way we behave. The behavior change
takes a learned expert to pin that one down.
I'm just saying the behavior changed because of the isolation. Okay, whatever. Go on.
Quote, we're more likely to break rules when our bonds to society are weakened. Robert Sampson, a Harvard sociologist who studies social disorder, told me, quote, when we become untethered, we tend to prioritize our own private interests over those of others in the public. Next one. Mental illness can't explain this.
Hold on. They quote Emil Durkheim. I don't know if you remember my Durkheim rant a few episodes ago. They bring it up there. Okay, go on. Mental illness.
Oh, you okay? Yeah, mental illness. Well, mental illness can't explain this, Gonz. The drinking, the isolation, the stress, that all explains it, but not mental illness. Some of the strange behavior that has attracted the most attention seems to involve people suffering from delusions or hallucinations. A few weeks ago, Twitter seized on a story of a flight attendant who subdued an unruly passenger by hitting him on the head with a coffee pot. It was a moment of seeming righteousness, of a mean guy getting what he deserved. But the fuller story is more disturbing. The man told flight attendants that, quote, people were attempting to hurt him and they followed him on the plane, and that he heard the individuals harming his family over the telephone. The man who shoved a woman and that's it. They don't say anything more about that.
Next thing, which is a man who shoved a woman in front of a train.
Yeah, I'm really curious how they, if and how they decided that this man wasn't in danger before smacking him over the head with a coffee pot. But okay. And then there's some other nasty things that are going on, and they say, oh, no, it's not mental illness that's doing it. It's, it's just other stuff. Some of the antisocial behavior Americans are seeing will resolve itself as the pandemic loosens its grip. In most of the country, masks are coming off, people are resuming normal gatherings, and kids have returned to school. The rules, the rhythm that kept America running smoothly are settling back into place. Improvement may be slow, but experts think human interactions will eventually return to the pre-pandemic status quo. The rise in disorder may simply be the unsavory side of a uniquely difficult time. Oh, yes. The rise in disorder, that was the unsavory side of the pandemic, Gonz. the pandemic, we can all agree, was a uniquely difficult time, but the truly unsavory side of not just a disease that was sweeping the nation and the world, not just tyrannical governments taking the opportunity to lock down their people and beat them and arrest them and turn them against each other in ways that we've not seen for 100 years. No, the unsavory side was the rise in disorder, in one in which many people were tested and some failed. Some people failed the test, Gonz. Quote, there have been periods where the entire nation is challenged, Insel said. Quote, and you see both things, people who do heroic things and people who do some very defensive, protective, and oftentimes ridiculous things. So the lesson to take from this, Gonz, is that the pandemic made everybody mean. And by pandemic, we mean certainly not the actions taken by governments and the frenetic flood
that wouldn't be
of negativity and hate baiting by the news media. And indeed, not just the news media, but politicians such as the president from the podium talking about how certain aspects of the American population are to be demonized and sort of hated and shunned and, guilted into certain things, and not the constant sort of gaslighting of everybody with blatant lies, disregard of scientific studies, chosen over some sort of invented purity culture by the government. No, none of that would have had anything to do with it. Not the fact that there's some new sort of genetic tampering that was more or less forced on much of the population, causing, just a long list of side effects, certainly delusions and hallucinations and aggravation and a change in mood and personality. I wonder if those things are on the list, Gonz. I know we can't go through it now, but it would be interesting to see. No. Don't worry, folks. Everything will go back to normal. Just sit tight and keep watching the news.
Yep.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. We had a bunch of other headlines about COVID. And the FDA clears another set of boosters. CDC says that if you got the J&J... These
are in the additional articles section, which will be sent to you, your email, folks.
If you got the J&J, get the mRNA booster now. That's CDC saying that. Why kids' vaccines aren't performing like adults' vaccines. Let's see, Atlantic. Thank you, Atlantic. And then CBS, COVID tests no longer free for some Americans. If you don't have insurance, your government-sponsored test is not free.
Yeah.
Biden lied. He said all Americans, free tests.
Yep.
500 million.
It literally lasted about a month.
Yeah.
These free tests that he was, making available.
Now
so
we are out of time.
Because all the money is going to Ukraine, Gonz.
Oh, I know. Well, that's the other funny part, which is, they take money away from the vaccine research. Didn't we report last episode on like some vaccine thing that was like not funded anymore, and they're like, we're out of money, and then Biden comes on TV or whatever, and he's like, we need more funding for the pandemic. I was like,
that's what we've been talking about for 2 episodes now.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, he took the money away and is saying that he's trying to get it back.
Yeah.